We've got our conversation right here, question to ask at a networking event. And again, please feel free to leave in the comments your thoughts so we can explore those. And I love this idea of let's talk about what are some of the best networking questions that we can ask. And I think as we think about networking, we have to think about, what are the opportunities that we have when we go networking? And I know there's different kinds of networking events. So this is going to be where you're actually having an opportunity to have conversations one-on-one, whether you're in a Zoom room one-on-one for speed networking, or whether it's mix and mingle and you get to chat with people throughout the room. And I know many people are excited. Yes, we get to do that again. I think when it comes to networking, we want to keep in mind networking nugget number 10. So I've got a couple networking nuggets to share with you today. These come from 4.5 networking mistakes, things that even the experts share. Like, here's the experts, what they tell you to do that were wrong. Here's the better way to do it. But inside the book, we have 19 networking nuggets, what to do before, during, and after a networking event. And networking nugget number 10 is listen and ask questions. When it comes to who do most people prefer to talk about, it's usually themselves. And so if we're able to ask people questions, it gets them talking, and we're able to learn. And it says here 5W plus H. So that is going to be the who, what, where, when, why, and poor how. Like, they couldn't come up with a way to make it a W question as well. And we're going to explore what are some of those different questions. But I find, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and we want to use them proportionately. Sometimes I think people think, let me talk more and lead the conversation, but asking questions can do that much more powerfully. And that's kind of what we want to, look at as we talk about what are the best networking questions. Though I think before we start saying what questions do we want to use, we have to keep in mind this idea of creating a goal. So that's our networking nugget number 3. What do we do before the networking event? We want to create a goal. And this can be, how many people do I want to meet? Are these prospects? Are these potential referral sources that I'm looking to meet with? Am I trying to generate referrals for each other? And so I think as we're looking at how do we create a goal, that will help us know what questions to ask, because I do have several different kind of sets of questions. And so I don't think there's an answer like, here is the best question, because I think it depends. And I don't know about y'all, I don't always love the answer of it depends, but it definitely depends when it comes to networking. And so I want to talk about a series of questions first, and that's going to be your funneling conversation. So networking nugget number 8 is utilize your funneling conversation. And in this video, I'm going to kind of give you the Cliff Notes version, a really brief overview of what the funneling conversation looks like. Later on this week, if you check out my YouTube channel, we do have a full-length video going up talking about what is a funneling conversation. So we're going to do a little share screen. Thanks to Restream. This is the first time I think I've shared a screen on Restream. So we're going to cross our fingers and hope it goes well. It's interesting. We cross our fingers for good luck. We cross our fingers when we're not telling the truth. I don't know how that works together. Kind of scary. So hopefully you're seeing on your screen, utilize your funneling conversation. And so what happens when you're at a networking event is you get the opportunity to ask somebody, hey, what do you do? 99% of the times, people are going to respond with a profession. And so you're going to put that into your little funnel. And you want to think, okay, are they in my contact sphere or not? Now, if you're thinking, Tiffanie, what is a contact sphere? So the contact sphere is a non-competing industry with the exact same target market. So essentially, I'm thinking, okay, these people, could they be my ideal and my best referral sources? If they are, then my goal is I want to schedule a meeting. Oh my, you're a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker. I find I have a lot of referrals to pass to somebody in your profession. Could we, get together, grab a coffee, set up a Zoom call so I can learn more about your business and see if we can refer you? So it makes it easy and simple. If they're in a profession that's not one with my same target market, then I'm going to have to do something. Now, if you're thinking, Tiffanie, I'm not really sure who's my contact sphere relationship, who's in my target market, pop on over to my website. I'll put the link in the comments below and enroll in our 5 steps to referral success. This is our MORE Referrals program. It's free. And step 1 and step 2 talk about target market. And contact sphere relationship. So that'll help you out. So if they're in a profession that's not that, once you figure it out, you're going to have to be quiet for a moment and wait. And hopefully they're going to ask you, what do you do? Now, then you're not going to say your profession. You want to share how you help people. And then when hopefully they say, how do you do that? Then you ask a series of questions, typically 2 to 4 questions, to determine, are they a good prospect for you? If yes, you're going to schedule an appointment. If no, then bye-bye, we're done. We're going to move on to the next part of the conversation. Now, so what does this look like? So I'm at the networking event, I'm talking to somebody, and I'm asking them these questions, and I'm like, hey, let me work it through you conversationally. So I ask somebody, hey, what do you do? They say, I'm a financial advisor. In my head, I'm thinking, is a financial advisor the same type of person that's going after my clientele? Okay, the answer is no. Then I wait for them to ask me, hey, Tiffanie, what do you do? If they don't ask me, then that lets me know they're not interested and I want to move on to the next part of the conversation. When they do ask me, I'm like, So I help my clients make money, save time, and have more fun. And then hopefully they'll ask how. Again, if they don't ask about it, they don't care, and you can move on. Like one of the networking nuggets is move on gracefully. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but we want to move on nicely, but don't just walk away. But then if they do say, how do you do that? Great, Tiffanie. So I would ask, are you looking to grow your business? And if they say yes, would referrals help you grow your business? And if they say yes, then I say, well, what I do is I work with entrepreneurs to help them double, triple, even quadruple their referrals. And if they're interested in that, then I have my call to action to schedule the appointment. What I love about the funneling conversation is in 60 seconds or less, I know if the person in front of me is a great referral source, if they're a great contact sphere relationship on my behalf. So that's one way that I can go about doing this. Now, let's take a look at the idea of something different. So we also have a program, it's called the Room Full of Referrals program. And it takes a look at your different behavioral styles. And we utilize 4 questions from this program to share, okay, are you a good fit for me or not? Do I want to have an appointment with you or not? And so let's go to, so as we look at the questions, the first question is, what do you do? Then how long and why do you do it? Then what does a great client look like? And lastly, who can refer you often? So those are our 4 questions. Now, I mentioned that we have the behavioral styles. So in the Room Full of Referrals, we figure out, are you a go-getter? Are you a promoter? Are you a nurturer? Are you an examiner? Now, if you want to take we have a quiz. So this is just a Facebook quiz. So it's not like it's, the entire behavioral style quiz. You can use the QR code that's on the screen or the bit.ly down there at the bottom. Give you the opportunity to see what your style is. Here's the thing. When it comes to the behavioral styles, I'm going to ask the questions differently. So if I'm talking to a go-getter, I'm going to, take this question of, what do you do? And really kind of dig into why they're successful at what they do. Why do they do it? What's a client that pays you well? Whereas if I'm talking to a promoter, I might say, what's the client that you like working with the most? If I'm talking to a nurturer, I might say, who are the kind of clients that you enjoy working with that really fulfill you? And so you do want to know like the different behavioral styles because it gives you the opportunity to ask these questions differently. What I have found is by knowing people's behavioral style and utilizing these 4 questions, I can almost always get an appointment with someone because you know what's going on. And so I love the idea of the Room Full of Referrals because it helps you determine so much and be more relatable, which will help you be more referable. Now, we're going to come back to those in just a moment. Let's come back. No screen share. Okay. All right. So as we're looking at this, one of the other things that I enjoy doing when it comes to these networking events is thinking about the technique of mirroring. So mirroring is if I ask somebody a question in the hopes that they will ask me the question in return. So if I go into a networking event and maybe I've got a big event coming up, one of the questions I might ask is, do you have any events or something special coming up? If I'm talking to somebody, I want them to know about a sale that I have in my business. Hey, any sales going on? Or what's a client that you've been able to help lately? You can utilize these questions. You can ask people these questions to say, okay, like you get their answer, and hopefully again, in return, they will ask you the question, mirroring. Now, if like with the funneling conversation, they're not asking you these questions back, then it lets you know that for whatever reason, no judgment, they're not interested, and I would move on to the next part of the conversation. Now, one of the last networking nuggets that I've got for you, networking nugget number 9, talks about offer support to others. So I truly enjoy the opportunity when I'm networking to try and find referrals for the people in my network. That's actually probably my number one goal at most events that I go to. It's more about who can I generate referrals for versus, let me just be here and get prospects for myself. I like the idea of the giving when it comes to networking. And so one of my favorite questions to ask is along the lines of, what's something that you've been struggling with? Or what's something that you could use a little help with? And I posed this question on social media this weekend as well. And Matt Wilkerson shared with us, where'd it go? The joys of technology. You got to find what I did with it. So one of the answers that we got for this question is one Matt Wilkerson shared. He says, how can I help you? I think that's a powerful way that you can be asking questions when you're networking. A couple other questions people shared that you could consider when networking is, what do you love most about what you do? And here's the thing, with any question that you go to a networking event and ask, be sure that you're ready to answer the question for them too. Colin shares, what kind of clients are you trying to meet? Michelle says, what's one thing you would do in your business if you knew it wouldn't fail? Robert shares, what circumstances developed that put you in this business? And Alex shares, what is your competitive advantage? I think these are all really amazing questions to be asking when we're networking. And again, we just want to think about what is our intention? What is our goal? What is it that we're really looking to accomplish? I think that can be very powerful. So we have a comment from Facebook. And I apologize for those of you that are watching on Facebook. If you have not yet, go on to restream.io/Facebook. It doesn't tell me your name, so if you want to put in the comments who you are, it just says Facebook user. So we have a Facebook user said, yes, givers gain, so look to refer to others too. Yes, I love it. We have another Facebook user that says, great stuff, Tiffanie. Thank you. Appreciate it, though. I have no idea who you are. I'll find out once we're done here and getting on Facebook to see. So these are a ton of questions I know that I just went through. And that's because I don't think there's just one question to ask. I love the funneling conversation. Are you a good fit? Are you a good prospect? Are you a good referral source? I love the questions of, hey, what do you have going on? What's your best client? I think there's so many things that we can do. And I always love it when it's not one size fits all. It's not, we all have to do the same thing. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments, whether you're watching this today live or you're watching this after the fact. What questions, for grammar's sake, what question is your favorite that you will use next time you're networking? Share with us what are the things that you're going to utilize. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Do check out my YouTube channel. I do have later this week, I'll put the funneling conversation question up there for you. If you want to hang out, I also have my Facebook group. So it's facebook.com/groups/more with Tiffanie. Would love to have you hanging out. We share some tips on more money, more time, more fun. And we do some lives sometimes here, like we're doing today, sometimes on Zoom where you can get some one-on-one and coaching. Otherwise, I want to say happy networking.